Your comfort level from the last start to this one?
It was much better. I felt like I was throwing more strikes today. Until the end, I was commanding the baseball pretty well, and as a whole, I felt much more comfortable. So, that was good, and I got to throw I think 88 pitches, so it was a good step.
Do you have command of all your pitches today?
Yeah, I threw a couple poor changeups. Curveball I couldn't really command height-wise, but they were down for the most part, and fastball cutter was pretty good. So as a whole, I'd say it was a lot better than my last one, and I just got to make sure that I keep improving and getting all my pitches in, and make sure my location is good.
Have they given you an idea of what's next?
No, from what I've heard, one more, but I'll have to show that I'm ready to go after that.
Do you feel your stuff is major league caliber to get those guys out, or do you think
I feel like it is. I went out today and didn't even think about stuff. I know that's what everybody wants to know about, but my last two outings and even my sim games down in Florida, my stuff was good. So I just kind of trusted that it would be there and worried more about command today. And so that was really what I was most concerned about.
Did you feel tired at all?
Last inning I maybe fatigued a little bit. I felt like I was just a little late. I don't know if it was mechanical or if I didn't feel tired, but I may have yanked a couple cutters, and command wasn't as crisp. But
What's your mentality while you're here in Trenton, playing with the Thunder?
Just try to get better. I'm really at a point now where I'm pitching full games almost. 88 pitches. I'd probably have another 20 more maybe on a good day. So I'm out here and trying to help these guys win, and at the same time make sure my stuff is good and get ready to go.
Phil, your priority coming in today wasn't necessarily fatigue; it was velocity, it was location, command. That was your line that you wanted to.
My last two outings, stuff-wise, has been good. It was the command that faltered a little bit, so I want to make sure I improve upon that. And didn't necessarily think about, what the radar gun said on every pitch. I knew, my stuff's been good the last, month or so, and I just got to, make sure the location's there. And that's the key.
Phil, do you know what the next step is for you at this point?
I think one more, but I'm not positive on that.
At any point in these last three starts, did you feel anything close to what you were going through in April?
No. I felt like I could let the ball go, and it was free and easy, and but I've been feeling that since since I got the cortisone and rest.
Phil, would you push for your next start to be in the majors?
Absolutely, if they ask me, but I know they won't. So that's part of it. I don't make those decisions.
Day to day, what does your regimen consist of now versus when you're at full strength?
It's the same. Everything's the same. I get asked if I changed anything in between to get stronger, but that's not the case. Everything before was kind of prevention stuff. I can't necessarily go and just lift more in between because I think it'll make me stronger. Because I have to maintain the same program that I did last year. I just have trust that whatever the doctors did to help me out has worked, and so far I feel like it has.
Phil, you weren't probably pretty happy with your last start. I know your command was a little off. What was the difference today?
Just throwing a lot more strikes. I felt comfortable out there. I felt like my mechanics were in sync, and I was able to get over my front side and deliver the baseball clean. The ball I felt like coming out of my hand pretty good, and I was able to locate. So I think that was the biggest thing. I was missing by a little bit in my last start, which was a lot of foul balls because of that, and I wasn't able to go as deep in the game as I would have liked. But today was a lot better.
Well, it seemed like you were going to pound the strike zone early. Was that kind of a focal point today, too?
Yeah. I've always been a guy I haven't tried to be too fine. I want to, attack the zone. If I miss by a little bit, that's okay. But when I miss by a lot, it becomes a problem. So I wasn't perfect by any means today, but I was throwing a lot more strikes than last time out. And, that was a positive sign. And I made him swing the bats, which is good. I didn't want to fall into too many deep counts. And, I wanted to make sure I faced a lot of hitters and got deep in the game.
It looked like you didn't throw a lot of breaking balls until the 6th, 7th inning. Was that kind of the plan today?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading swing for the most part. You know, they were kind of late on my fastball at the beginning, so I really felt like I didn't need to, you know, show them anything too soft. And then once they started gearing up at the end, I mixed in some more cutters and breaking balls. And so it was just like I'd go about any start.
They were really conservative with you when you were here, and in Scranton, and with Java too. Do you have any level of concern that the way they handled you in the minors could have possibly led to the situation you're in now?
No.
Just being too conservative and maybe not stretching out as much?
No. Sometimes you always want to point the finger at one thing. Sometimes there's just not an explanation for injuries. You know, guys are going to get hurt, and they just try to do everything they can to prevent it. But you know, sometimes if something's not right, it's just not right. Whether you were handled the right way, the wrong way, or whatever anybody wants to say about it. So you know, I don't second guess anything they did with my pitch count or innings or. And I'm sure other guys you mentioned Java feel the same way.
Phil, what's the difference between, say, April and now as far as the feeling? The ball comes out of your hand. How does it feel now as opposed to a couple months ago?
It feels normal, like it did last year. And I can tell by the swings that I'm getting. Earlier in April, I mean, they were just, you know, I couldn't wait to get in the batter's box, which is not a good feeling, you know, when you're out there. So. You know, it's back to normal, and that's good. I just have to make sure that, you know, my command is back to normal as well, and you know, so that's kind of what I'm focusing on.
Thanks.